But it ain't gonna be long before I'm, like training and doing my thing.
Have you, man, I can't remember a time where someone's landed so many body shots to the liver and the guy's been able to stay in there. Were you surprised that you could land that left hand and he was able to withstand those?
I thinking about it now, in hindsight, no, not really, because that dude is thick. He just was like a dang bull, man. He just grabbed me, and I was like, Dad, stop. But no, he was like he had a thick torso, man. He was strong, so it doesn't surprise me, and he came in conditioned, If he wasn't in shape and he wasn't so thick, he probably would have gone down, man. But that guy came. I don't want this to sound wrong, but he came ready to take a whooping,
Was that kind of what you were expecting? Were you expecting him to be able to take that sort of punishment ahead of time when you're going into this?
I don't have any expectations, man. I plan to hit you and to hurt you, and then I just kind of go off what that person does. Everyone reacts different. I didn't have any expectation of him being super tough. I didn't have any expectation for him to be, I didn't expect him to fall, but I didn't necessarily know if he was going to stand. It's one of those things I find out as you guys found out.
Yeah. Would you say the big difference in this was your cardio, the ability to push the pace, even through that third round, you were able to keep coming at him?
Well, I want to say yeah, but I'm gonna get with my team and talk about it, but I wasn't really trying to throw a whole lot in the first round. I mean, I didn't see it, that's why I hit the ground, but I came in shape and I just didn't see the punch. It came quick, and again, it's the beginning of the fight. I don't know how he's moving, and he caught me. But when my butt hit the ground, I was there. And, but he was throwing, and again, people kind of say I take damage, but I know how to roll. My head doesn't hurt. I've never had a concussion. I've had this is fighting, but I've never had a concussion. And he tired himself out. And so I was kind of reading. I was just waiting to read. I think if there was a discrepancy between us is experience and skill set. What makes me move forward really easy is that I'm economic with my movements. I'm economic with my energy. And I trained hard, and I do come in shape, man. There's some things that maybe, again, I get with my team, some things maybe in our conditioning I can be stronger at in different areas. But, I was ready to go. We could have gone another 2 rounds, and I'd have been fine.
Are you able to make that read as it's? Is there a moment where you go, "Oh, this guy thinks I'm more hurt than I am"? So can you think to yourself, "I'll let him fire away and tire himself out," or do you just roll with it?
No. What he does, I'm just reading. I don't know what he's thinking. I can't read his mind. I just read his actions, and then I hear his breathing, and looked at his body. I'm reading body language. Somewhere in the middle of I hit the ground. But I think it's fair enough to say, and I haven't watched it, but as far as I can see in the fight, from what I remember, somewhere about the end of the first round, I took control. It might have been 1 minute, it might have been 2 minutes, but somewhere at the end, the tides changed. It looked like he might have been finishing me, and then at the end, man, it looked like he was on his horse, running backwards, getting beat up. So, I just watched him. I just knew by the end of the first half, I'd got him tired, and I started working.
Landed great right uppercuts as well throughout. The uppercut was a good shot for you. When I'm sure you need to sort of take a little time to heal off, but when would you like to get back in there?
It is July 31st. August, September, October, maybe end of October, beginning of November. Let's say like November, end of October, mid-November. I don't honestly, maybe right before Thanksgiving. I wouldn't mind even waiting until December, to be honest, just depending on what I decide with my team. Because the reality of this is, if this was just about fighting, we do it every weekend, but it's about making money. And, I want to make sure I put on the best performance to give myself the most opportunity. So, I would say at the earliest, end of October, and as late as December. I definitely want one more fight before the year ends. So somewhere between end of October, just before the New Year.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Chris?
Oh, my bad.
I saw you limping up there. Is your leg okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. He kicked me a couple of times in my calf, and it hurts.
Would you say that this was a really good bounce back performance from your last performance?
Well, yeah, obviously. But man, we're not trying to make excuses, but I tore my knee in 2018, and then tore my ACL beginning of 2019. Then epidemic happened. I moved to 3 different states. I went broke. Um, Literally had nobody. I didn't train with anybody last fight. I didn't train anybody. I didn't train with anybody. I didn't have a strength and conditioning coach. I literally did it all myself, and I can add all the other negative stuff, but I think that's enough. You know, I would say this is not just a like comeback win, but man, it's like everything outside of the fighting too is a comeback for me. Like my whole life is in a better spot before this fight. I had 3. Like on paper, maybe I didn't have the most, but I had enough, man. I had quality. And today's performance, I literally had 1 training partner, 1 strength and conditioning coach, and just had some really supportive and positive people around me, and that made all the difference.
You know, you kind of touched on it, but you know, your lack of activity. Is that frustrating that you've only fought a handful of times since you've been in the UFC?
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, and life isn't fair, man. It really isn't. Life isn't fair, and I've learned, you know, I learned some life lessons, man. You got to watch what comes out of your mouth, and you know, you can kind of delay some things for you saying the wrong stuff, and I think really the turnaround for this one is I started saying the right things and being very patient and not getting frustrated and not getting angry. I've had some bad things happen, unfair stuff, and then made things worse by kind of having a crap attitude, and you know, I don't want to dwell on the past. But man, it has been frustrating, man, because I feel like I could have done more. I could have been further. I could have, should have, would have, you know. And so I don't like that. And I'm just really happy and kind of really grateful for the experience that I just had. Like the whole camp, this whole camp has been something brand new I've never experienced in my fight career, and just grateful, really grateful.
Do you have an opponent that you would like to fight next?
I got nobody in mind, you know. Whoever's gonna push my career along, man, whatever I can do to make the next jump, to do something good, you know. I'm looking for the next positive step, whatever that is. So really it's really not, to me, it's not who, it's when that's most important to me. Because whoever they put in front of me, I'm probably just going to say yes, you know. I'm just going to say, all right, when are we doing this? No, the time frame's not right. When are we going to do this? All right, go ahead, whoever, let's do it.
And finally, you know, your hair looks fantastic again. Are you planning on donating again your caveman hair?
If I grow it out long enough, maybe. You know, I've been doing this thing with the side where I trim it on the side. You know, so I don't know, man. I would love to though. I don't. You know, it was a cool thing to do then. You know, I just haven't grown my hair out long enough to you got to donate like 12 inches, man. So I had 12 inches to give. You know, so. I'd go back to like a normal short haircut if I cut my hair. So I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet.
Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Chris, you know, MMA people look at this sport as pretty much like a individual sport, just one man against one man, and that's kind of like why we love it, so pure. But can you touch on, you know, going through your hard time, and you know, people don't realize that there's a lot of people behind the man in the cage.
Well, it's not an individual sport. It's an individual performance. It is absolutely a team sport. You know, 2 can do more than 1, and that's just true in every aspect of life. 2 can do more than 1. So if you're trying to be one person out there, and regardless of what you're a part of, you're not going as far as somebody who's got 1 or 2 or 3, you know, people who are working in agreement. And for sure, man, I had 3 people who we agreed and we planned out this work. And even though I'm the one that did the performance, man, I had 3 people behind me with me the whole way. And so absolutely, it's an individual performance, but this without a doubt, this is a team sport.
And it sounds like you had a good support network behind you besides just your team.
Yeah, I was kind of adopted. Grandma Ann, I don't know if you're watching this, but I love you. You know, I did, man. I was bouncing around, having a hard place to find, and a family took me in, and I had a place I got to call home, a place I could make sure I had, you know, I could sit down, and I just got to be myself. I got to be at home. I was loved. I was cared, and I was asked about, hey, how are you doing today? What are you doing? You know, people cared about where I was going, and when I went to sleep, man, I knew I was in a safe place. You know, I didn't have to worry about whether my stuff was going to be there or whether I was allowed to come in the next day, or, you know, like, So absolutely, I mean, outside of the team that I had, my living situation was a lot different for this camp.
Thanks.
Thank you.